Hey, what is going on, everybody? So we're gonna try and get my 1995 Mustang GT roadworthy, running and driving. Spoiler alert, that's actually kind of not gonna happen. It's gonna be one issue after another and after another. So whether we get this car driving in this video, I don't know. You're just gonna have to wait and see. You'll also see I'll probably go through like 12 different outfits. That's because each clip is probably taken from a different day. I work on this car every now and then, kind of just trying to mix it in with work and school and then other stuff I have going on. So hopefully everything comes out okay. And if you haven't seen my last video on this car, I would highly recommend you go check that out. It is only 4 minutes long. And lastly, before we get into the video, one quick shameless plug. Please subscribe. Please like this video. Please. I'm asking nicely. So with that, let's go ahead and get right into it. What is up, guys? Hope everyone is having a blessed day. I can't complain. Life is fantastic. Today we're going to be working on the Mustang again. So I've got these, we're going to be doing the exhaust. I've got these O2 sensor extensions. Got these off of Amazon. I think they were like 50 bucks or something like that. So I got those. I'm going to slap those on the car. Just because you probably saw in the last video the idle issue that I'm having. So hopefully that's related to that. I don't know, but regardless, it still needs O2 sensors hooked up anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these put in. O2 sensors are supposed to be coming in the mail. I saw the mail lady out somewhere over there. So looks like they should be coming in here in the next 20-30 minutes probably. I'm gonna go ahead and jack the car up, get these extensions put in, and then after that, I guess I can show y'all the exhaust. Here is the exhaust box that I got. So as you can see, it's a pipes full catback exhaust. I got the pipes pipe bomb, and I've got it here in my living room right now because I don't have space in the garage right now because we have Wesley's car in there. We're trying to get an exhaust leak fixed on it, and that actually turned out being complete disaster. But yeah, they're still working on that right now, so I don't have space in the garage to put this, but it's just sitting in here. I did go ahead and open it because I wanted to make sure that everything was in the box. So I've got the full cat back. Now, unfortunately for these cars, the 94 to 95 Mustangs, I don't think that they sell, at least from what I could tell, nobody sells an off-road X-pipe for these cars. So I'm gonna have to go the custom route, and I did buy 4 flanges. So that way it should bolt up like OEM or how it should be. I don't want it to all be welded together to where we can't take it all back off. But I've got these 4 flanges, if you can see that. I know it's kind of dark. Along with some new bolts. So I've got those, and I'm not gonna get the exhaust out just yet. I'll probably bring it outside and unwrap everything for whenever I'm ready to put that on. All right, so I've got the O2s hooked up now. The extensions are kind of hanging low because I haven't routed them anywhere, but let's go ahead and see if anything changed about the way this thing idles. Fingers crossed it does, but if not, then oh well. At least it's got O2s in it now. Nope. Like probably nothing's changed. This is how it usually idles whenever it calms down. It'll go down to about 1,000 and then just sit there and chop. All right, guys, so it's the next day, and I went ahead and started taking things apart because I figured it's a vacuum leak that's causing it, not the O2 sensors. Everything with the O2 sensors is working. I scanned the OBD1 plugs, or OBD1 with this little guy right here, just used a paper clip, and I was getting 2 lean codes, so I was like, okay, vacuum leak probably. And where is it at? There's 2 hoses that go into the intake manifold, and this is one of them. I would say that bad unit is probably leaking, so I'm gonna go ahead and just replace all the vacuum lines since they're all pretty old. This car is like, what, 29 years old? So I'm gonna go ahead and get those all replaced, and then we're gonna go ahead and see if we can put this back together and it's all good. All right, guys, so it is the next day. As you can see now, it's sunny. I'm not wearing a hoodie. I'm actually wearing a short sleeve and the sun's out. But apologize, these clips are so choppy. I've been working on this car here and there a couple days. It's really been on and off just because of having class and work. Just trying to fit in working on this thing in between those times. But today we're actually going to go ahead and get this car lifted up and go ahead and put the exhaust on it. I did make a change of plans. I'm just going to take all of this piping to the exhaust shop and just have them install all of it, just because they're going to need to be able to rotate everything and move things just to make everything line up correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that, but I am going to go ahead and put those clamps on the headers. I'm going to go ahead and put those on the headers, and here I can show you guys the full exhaust. So here's what's going to be coming off the mid pipes. And then here we've got the mufflers. These are the pipes, M80 mufflers. If you look inside of there, it's just a straight through muffler, nothing crazy. So if anything, I mean, I don't know how that's considered a muffler. It's basically a resonator, but I guess it muffles it a little bit. Here's the two pipes that go over the axle, and as you can see, they are mandrel bent, so no restriction there. Then you've got these nice pipes tips. These tips are actually resonated. They've got like these baffles inside of it, so I guess that's pretty cool. So I guess technically this exhaust is quad resonated in a way. So should sound pretty nice. A couple other things that it did come with is it did come with all of these hangers. I guess these are just extras for whether you're putting this exhaust on a Fox body or SN95 or whatever. Did come with this cool little badge. I think it's kind of cool. I guess to put on the deck lid or something. Sticker, and then here's all the clamps, put everything together. So, oh, here are the clamps, which I think I already showed you guys. These are the clamps. It's gonna go on the back of the header and then on the front right here. So basically how this is gonna work, I'm gonna have this clamped on there, and then this piece is gonna be off of the headers, and then the exhaust shop is just gonna put an X pipe right there and connect that together. Since unfortunately they don't sell a shorty mid pipe for these cars anymore, they just got discontinued or whatever, I guess because they're old. So it is the next day. I've got the exhaust on the car. I went and got that put on yesterday, and it did rain. I was gonna wash the car today, but guess not. I guess I'll just be cleaning the interior. Probably not a full detail, but I'm probably just gonna get all the trash and stuff out of it and at least wiping it down, because it's got all the dust and everything. It's been sitting in there for who knows how long, but finally do have an exhaust on there. I'm gonna go ahead and try and get a cold start. This exhaust honestly is not near as loud as what I thought it was gonna be, because on I think it's on LMR's website, or maybe it's American Muscle, the rating on these, it has like a little meter. It says like quiet to very loud. Well, this one showed very loud. I'm gonna go ahead and get a cold start. It does sound good though. I will give it that. It sounds pretty great. Not sure what that sound is. Idle surging, and there's a sound that sounds like a cow giving birth. I read something that said that might be the idle air control motor, since I have been having idle issues. So when you rev it, I think it goes away. Yeah, kind of odd. I'll probably try and get better videos than that. But for right now, I guess I'm probably gonna go ahead and just start cleaning this thing up, at least getting all the trash out of here. There's a whole lot of just junk in this thing. And there's even more in the trunk, but I'm gonna go ahead and start getting this stuff cleaned out. Like I said, it's not gonna be a full detail just yet, but at least get all the trash out and get this thing a little bit more decent so it's not a pig pen whenever I'm driving it around. Oh, also, I did take the speedometer out because I had to look at a gear because the mileage, unfortunately, is not rolling over. Turn that off so it'll quit dinging. The mileage is not rolling over, but I went ahead and did the needles red, or I guess like a red-orange. And I just did a quick hand polish on this plastic shield over the gauges. Went ahead and polished that up a little bit. It does look a little bit better. These gauge faces are actually aftermarket. They actually had 3 wires running down, but unfortunately none of those are connected, so I've got to buy a new one. Probably just gonna get the same style, these white. I really like these white overlays. They're supposed to glow, which I can throw up a picture of that right now, but they're supposed to look like that. And I'm probably just gonna get some new ones off of eBay. I think they're like 40 bucks. So probably just get some new ones and slap in there and then call it good. Because I really like the way these gauges look. Unfortunately, I can't use these because they don't light up. They don't have the little control box and all the wiring that's supposed to be with it. All of it's missing. So I guess we'll go ahead and get to cleaning up this interior a little bit. Okay, and that is looking a lot better. I don't know how hard it is to tell in the video, but the dash is no longer dusty. Got all the junk out of the car. Now it's still not clean. I mean, you guys can probably see that. I haven't cleaned the seats or anything like that, but it's a lot better than what it was. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it a quick wash on the outside. Again, not a detail. I know we do gotta polish out this dinginess up here on the top, and just all over the car in general. Probably do that whenever this thing's running great, honestly. But for now, I think it could use a wash. I mean, first one in how many years? Who knows? 2017, so like 7 years at least 7 years. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it washed real quick, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. Okay guys, so now here she is all cleaned up. It probably doesn't look a whole lot different than what it did in the video, but looks pretty good. I don't want to hear anybody say like, oh, you missed the spot, bro. I scrubbed this, just I don't know why, and I don't know what this white stuff is, oxidation or something on the plastic, but whenever I did scrub it just with the normal sponge with the car wash, that came off. So obviously I do have to rewash it. That was kind of just a quick wash to get everything off of the car, all of the surface dirt and everything. But look at how good that thing looks. Thing looks fantastic. Also, if you think that looks good, I am going to be doing a full detail on this car, an actual detail, not just a normal wash. So subscribe, and hopefully I'll have that video out here, who knows when, but I will. This thing's going to get a full detail. The wheels are going to get polished. The car itself, the paint's going to get buffed and polished, touch up the paint in a couple of areas, and it's gonna look like a totally different car. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it back in the garage. And now that the car is all cleaned up, I did go drive it, and unfortunately I have an exhaust leak. And I was thinking it was coming from, you guys probably cannot see that. Let me get a flashlight. You guys probably can't see it, but that EGR pipe, it was leaking, so I got that fixed. But now I've got a leak from the header gaskets. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to pull the headers off. They were just installed, but whenever, I say just installed, they were installed back in like 2020, but the car was never ran since then. So, I'm going to go ahead and get those headers pulled out, or pulled off, and see if I can get those gaskets put on. I did some research, and apparently a bunch of people say that those BBK header gaskets that come with these cars, or come with the long tubes, are pretty trash. I didn't do a whole lot of other research on that. I kind of just looked at what people were saying about the BBK header gaskets. But instead, I went ahead, because you can't go wrong with OEM, right? So, went ahead and got some Ford Performance gaskets. So, I'm going to get these bad boys slapped on, and I guess we will see. Hopefully, we have no leaks. And hopefully that check engine light will go out, because now I only have a lien code on one bank, and that bank happens to be the bank that has the leaking exhaust gasket. All right, guys, so I ran into a little bit of an issue whenever I pulled back this header. So I'm gonna go down here and show you guys what's going on. So up in here is where the motor mount usually sits. And whenever I took it out, there was no bolt right there. But there was on the back. So it was missing a bolt up here on the front, because whenever I pulled off the header away from the engine, the whole engine shifted. So the engine has just been sitting on the front, or on the headers have been just sitting on the frame. And check this out. This engine mount is completely bent because there was only one bolt holding this thing in. Like this thing is mangled. So unfortunately, I've got to go get another mount. O'Reilly's said that they did have one, in fact. So I'm gonna go pick one up, and get it put on, and then probably what's gonna have to happen is, now that these headers, that they're gonna be in a different position, I'm probably gonna have to go back to the exhaust shop, because I highly doubt that it's gonna line up down there to the X pipe that they made for it. So gotta love it, just one thing after another. But I'm gonna go get that motor mount picked up, and then I'll show you guys the difference between these two, because I mean, it should be pretty easy to see. Like, this thing is, I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be straight, and this thing is twisted. But yeah, you can see right here, this one had a bolt. This one was just rusted out, and it doesn't have anything. Thankfully, I was thinking, whenever I saw that, I was thinking that the hole in the block was gonna be stripped, and thankfully it's not. Thankfully nobody stripped a bolt in there or anything. I guess I just forgot to put a bolt back in, or lost a bolt and just sent it. So hopefully I can find a bolt also and get this thing put back in. And here you can see the comparison between the two mounts. They almost don't even look the same, but you can tell if you twist it like that, brackets look the same. This old one here, I guess, just got so twisted up from having the engine torque on only one side of the mount, and it only had one bolt. I went ahead and picked up couple bolts. This is going to fill in the gap where that missing bolt was at. So I'm going to go ahead and get that put in real quick. Later. So as if the problem with the passenger motor mount wasn't enough, I went to go drive the car, and the steering wheel was dink, 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 dink every time I turned it. I thought at first maybe it was like low power steering fluid or not, but come to find out, if you take a look at the engine, it might be hard to tell. If you look at it in comparison to the strut brace, it looks like it's leaning a little bit over to the driver's side. So I looked down in here, and sure enough, I can get the camera down in here. The steering shaft, let me zoom in, is a square, and it was hitting that piece on the, or it was hitting that tube, one of the tubes off the header. So unfortunately, I do got to get the other motor mount put in. I got another new motor mount. I just picked this one up from O'Reilly's. So I'm going to get that put in, and then hopefully we'll be able to drive the car then, because I'm just ready to drive this thing. It's, oops. We'll zoom back out there. I'm just ready to drive this thing. It's been one thing after another, it seems like, but I feel like it'll be worth it in the end. So I'm going to go ahead and get this car jacked up yet again, go ahead and slap that motor mount in, and we'll be good to go from there, hopefully. Yeah, so I got the old mount out, and as you can see, it's also pretty squished, just like the other old one that came off the passenger side. So I've got the new one. I'm going to go ahead and get that put in real quick. Okay, so it was very late last night. It is the next day. I finished up late last night putting those mounts in. So now, let's go ahead and start the car up. The issue is better, but it's not fully gone. Little cold start. So I've also got a squeaking issue, and it happens whenever you push in the clutch. So I did a little research. I think there's something called an LDS mod. something to do with the clutch cable. I don't exactly remember, it's been a minute since I looked at it. But if you put your foot on the clutch just a little bit, the sound goes away. I don't know how good it is that y'all can hear that, but that's what's going on with that squeaking issue. I've also got this belt I've got to re-warranty out because it was squealing like crazy. But here's how it's looking now. So it does still turn, but you can feel the steering shaft still hitting the header just a little bit. It is a lot more manageable now. But third, what do you guys think I should do about this mess of a wiring harness? Turn this off. I'm debating on either getting just another Ford factory radio, because as you could see, this came with the Mach 460 sound system. So I'm debating on whether I should just get another stock Ford radio like what originally came in this car, or if I should just go ahead and upgrade and get something that I can get Bluetooth with. I don't know, I'm still trying to decide between that. If you guys have any idea, let me know. The other thing with doing the motor mount, I've noticed that the engine looks like it sits slightly higher on the passenger side. Now I don't know what these are supposed to look like out of the box. I don't know what the tilt is supposed to look like, but that's how mine is looking right now. It looks like it's tilted just a little bit more that way towards the driver's side. So I don't know if it's because the mounts aren't lining up or something. Not really sure. That could also be why it's still hitting the header. I'm not 100% sure. But unfortunately, the car still does have problems, and we weren't able to fix all of them in this video. But we did get quite a bit. Did make quite a bit of headway. As of right now, the only things that are really left to where we could go drive it are the rear end. The rear end makes a howling sound on decel. So I've got to figure that out, what's going on. I think the backlash is incorrectly set. So I'm gonna have to pull the diff cover off probably in the next video and see what's going on with that, measure it, see what it's looking like. Get that squealing sound I talked about with the clutch pedal. That's not really too big of a concern right now. It still does drive fine. I don't know if that affects drivability or if it's gonna mess anything up. Like I said, I haven't done a whole lot of research on it. But that, the steering shaft, and then the angle of the engine. If any of you guys know if that's normal or not, please leave a comment, because I'm not 100% sure. And I know I said I was going to get an exhaust clip in this video. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get all of them just because I can't go drive the car down the road, so I can't get flybys or anything like that. So hopefully in the next video, we'll do a bunch more of that. But as of right now, that should conclude this video, and hopefully we'll get this thing back on the road soon, because I'm dying to drive this thing. It just sits in the garage. It's just been sitting here waiting for me to get time to work on it, so hopefully we'll get it done soon. If you're not following my Instagram, do follow my Instagram. I'll probably post short updates here and there on that. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.